and welcome to today's car review. It's a very brisk 43 degrees here in Houston, Texas, and I'm not standing by a Corvette. Now you're thinking, Dane, it's not a Corvette, it's not a Porsche, it's not a Camaro or a Mustang. It's you're standing next to an improperly parked Toyota Highlander. Yes, I am. That's because I have an issue with this car. You guys haven't seen it yet, but I drive a 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee, which I feel is very much competition to this. I've been in an accident, somebody has wrecked my Grand Cherokee, and so this is my loaner. And with everything, I like to look at car reviews, and so I started watching some on this because I started noticing some things I didn't love about it. And I noticed a trend with every review. Everybody loves this car, and they're all wrong. This car sucks. And I'm going to tell you why. So the inside of this car is probably where the beginning of my problem starts. Listen, I can forgive a car for being a little bit ugly on the outside if it serves a purpose and the inside's very cool. Kia Carnival, for example, someone at the Houston Auto Show. Terrible looking car, but the inside's pretty cool. It's got a lot of cool tech. Pretty sweet place to be. I'll forgive it. Limousines, very ugly, cool on the inside. You see where I'm going? I'm fine with it not being the prettiest car in the world if the inside's a nice place to be. This car isn't. Let's begin. First things first, it just feels very cheap in here. I get it, this is a rental car. This one isn't spec'd out to the moon, but it's still a 2022. People are still going to buy this one. And in this year that cars are being made, I expect a lot more. Like I said, I've got a 2022 Grand Cherokee. It's a very nice place to be inside. This is not. I mean, all of this, I mean, you've got some soft touch here, but then, I mean, you can knock on everything. It's all super cheap everywhere you look. I mean, some of the things you touch, okay, fine, I'll give it to you, are nice. They did a very good job with the steering wheel. It's very nice and soft. The shift knob, again, soft, same material as the steering wheel on the shift knob. I like that. But everything else just feels cheap. So when all the reviews on this thing, when they're touting the storage shelf as a feature, as something they're excited about, I mean, it's nifty. I mean, I throw my wallet and crap in here, but I feel like we're reaching a little bit. I feel like it's a little bottom of the barrel. We're like, okay, what can we get excited about? I get, you know, there's nicer versions of this car. You know, I'm going to talk about my Grand Cherokee a lot because obviously that's the car that I own. But it's not a nice place to be in here. I'll give it, well, you know, I've got a couple good things to say about it. We'll save that for the end. But yeah, very cheap, very tinsely, just feels like very plasticky. I hate the center console. I mean, it's gonna break. I mean, it's gonna break with me just doing this, but it shouldn't. And it wiggles. Center console shouldn't wiggle anymore. Center consoles wiggle in an 03 Ford Focus. They shouldn't wiggle in a $40,000+ Toyota. So here's one of the most annoying pieces of it. This thing's brand new. Had 1,000 miles on it when I picked it up. Here's the key, okay? This button, what's that do? Opens the tailgate, right? You hold that? No. No, you don't want to? Okay, maybe it needs to be locked. Oh no, maybe it needs to be unlocked. No, this button doesn't work. So every time I have to put something in it, probably not good for the car, but it's a rental, you gotta give it the Yugga-Duggas to get it up. Load your very small belongings in, since there's not much room back here. And then here's the fun part. Oh, the button. Oh, no, that doesn't work either. You gotta do a pull-up, and then stupid car. I don't want to make this anymore. This car sucks. Okay, so speaking of the third row, which is one of my biggest gripes about this car, so getting in is pretty easy. Just lift this little latch, seat goes forward, slides up, and then back here in this third, oh no, it would appear we already have a tape measure with 4 inches marked off I think Logan was in this car last, but that's pretty convenient. I don't even know if I'm going to accurately be able to show you the amount of legroom that's not back here. I am back here in the third row, and I don't know if it's PG-13. I don't know if the way I'm having to sit right now is even safe to show you guys on YouTube. Not to mention my headroom. I get I'm not the person that's going to be back here, but for God's sakes, why have it at all? I mean, unless you have a very, very small, I'm even gonna say 8 years old is too big. They need to be 5 or younger. And then once you start getting into that age range, I think you still need car seats, right? When do you get out of car seat? I don't know. Regardless, this seat is useless. It's only back here for the sake of being back here. And then I just noticed this. Why do you have 2 cup holders on each side? You can't even see it. Who's gonna sit back here with 4 drink? I hate this car so much. Logan, get your 4 inches, by the way, is about the amount of leg room you have back here. I get it. Hold on, here we go. You can slide the seats forward, but come on. You slide the seats forward, you lose your middle row leg room. So, okay. Let's get back in the car. Okay, next thing I greatly dislike is the technology in this thing, or lack thereof, if you want to put it that way. Now, Toyota's been known for this. The 4Runner has been a great example of this. Toyota's always kind of been behind the technology curve. Now, some people, and I'm sure some people in here are gonna argue, be like, yeah, well, it's more simple, and that means it's gonna work better. I don't care. I like cool stuff. And all cars these days come with cool stuff. Every Hyundai. I don't know if you've seen the inside of a Hyundai lately, but Hyundai has cool stuff. Kia has cool stuff. Jeep has cool. Everybody has cool stuff these days, and nothing about this is cool or sexy or says, hey, I would love to drive this car. I mean, I've got 2 old school gauges and a gauge cluster that has the same things that have been in the inside of a gauge cluster in a Toyota since, 2012, 13 maybe. I mean, I get it, there's a new one out with a digital gauge cluster, but again, if I'm over 40 grand, I get it, everything's more expensive these days, but throw in the gauge cluster. You don't have to give me the big screen, throw me the digital dash. I feel like at that price point, you deserve that. No part of this car just feels modern and exciting for me. Not in the same way that everybody else that reviewed this car seemed to absolutely fall in love with it. I don't see it. Also, factory rating on this car is 20 city, 2021 city, and I think 29 highway. And my driving style is split. 50-50, pretty much dead even. I'm in the neighborhood. When I get out of the neighborhood, I'm on the freeway, and then I'm averaging 19.9. And ask anybody that knows me, I'm the slowest driver in the group, by far. So I can only imagine somebody, Laura, like my girlfriend, somebody with a little heavier foot would just be abominable gas mileage. And then it's got a 17-gallon tank in it. So not only does it get terrible gas mileage, but the tank's super small. Again, going back to my Jeep, 23 gallons in that one. So huge difference. So not only do you not have terrible gas mileage, but your range sucks as well. Not a very positive review we're working up to. So, going back to the way this thing looks for a second, I understand that this is a personal opinion. However, I feel very strongly that my opinion is right. Because a lot of the verbiage that was being used to describe this car, striking, bold, cool, fun, none of those things are true. Let me explain. Every single 3-row SUV, for the most part, on the market right now, looks the same. Look them up. Kia Sorento, Volkswagen Tiguan, Mitsubishi Outlander, Chevy Traverse, Highlander, Buick Enclave, Nissan Pathfinder, Volkswagen Atlas, Ford Explorer, Subaru Ascent. Acura MDX, all of these cars look the same. They've all got this rounded butt. They all look the exact same. Everybody's making the exact same style car. On the topic of looks, I'm not short, I'm not tall, I'm pretty average height. And I have no problem getting in this car. My girlfriend Laura, she's 5 foot nothing. She's not tall. She has no problem getting in this car. Why the hell did they give it running boards? Because all they do is they catch your shin every time you get out of it. Sorry, that's a big one. Why would you put, and it's an option. If you haven't already clicked off this video yet, because by this point in the video, you should have said, you know what, Dane's right, I don't want a Highlander, I'm just gonna, and I wouldn't even be mad. You don't have to finish the video, I don't care. Just click off the video, totally fine with me. Find something else that you're gonna buy. But if for some reason you choose not to listen to me and you wanna waste your money on this, for God's sakes, do not put running boards on it. So I just, in general, have a distaste for this whole 3-row SUV thing. I think all of them aren't quite big enough. I mean, the 3rd row is very emergency use only, and even then it's still not very comfortable. I'm always going to be of the camp of, if you need a 3-row SUV, go buy a Suburban, go buy an Expedition. You're gonna end up spending a little more money. You know what? And if that is out of the budget for you, then buy a minivan. I hate minivans. Trust me, I hate minivans almost as much as I hate things like this. But at least the minivan is practical, right? This is ugly on the inside, ugly on the outside, and it's impractical for what most people need it for. Whereas a minivan is ugly on the inside, it's ugly on the outside, but it's not ugly on the inside, and it is practical. I'm gonna eat those words because I bitch about minivans all the time, but just don't see a giant point in it. I will, however, give it 2 things, maybe 3. It is very comfortable. I have never gotten out of this thing with my back hurting, or just, you know, or the ride being rough. It's a very comfy car. I'll give it that. And the other thing I'll kind of give it, but I think I'm probably more going to attribute it to the tires that are on this. It's done fantastic in the rain. It's been raining really, really bad in Houston for the last couple weeks. Have had to drive through a lot of water, have had to drive down from the North Houston to South Houston, and this thing has never skated, it's never danced, it's never done anything other than be very, very good in the rain. So that's really good. Oh. Last but not least, here is my final thoughts on this car. I don't like it. Just, it's a mall car. However, and this is the one thing people are gonna yell at me for, and I'm gonna beat you to it. In a few years' time, when I will have had, in a few years and 150,000 miles time, when I will have traded my Jeep in already, because I'm a little on the reliability, and I'm driving my new SUV to the mall, this will still be there. Because let's face it, it's a Toyota, where everything else goes 150, 200,000 miles, these just go longer. So, if you need this car, and you need a car that's gonna last you forever, you know, it's probably part of why they have no new tech and no fun stuff, because they want stuff that works. And so that's one thing I'll give it, apart from the tailgate. You know, in a few years' time, this will still be rootin' tootin' around at the mall, and I will be, but the owner of this car won't have a car payment anymore, and I will. So, appreciate you guys watching this video. New little boring car Monday. We'll see if we do it on Monday, but I like the idea of doing regular cars because, well, that's what the majority of us drive. It's what I drive on a normal basis. Not everybody drives, you know, Corvettes and fun cars every day. And I like the tech and niftiness that comes with normal cars. So we're gonna work those into the video somewhere. I appreciate you guys watching, and please God, don't buy this car. Okay, bye.